always done music. It's all I've ever done, all I know how to do. When I create, I generally just don't even think. It's kind of like a way of me being able to kind of just zone out and not think, because sometimes I think too much. Hey guys, I'm Lauren Faith. I'm a music producer from London, and I'm going to show you guys some of my favourite sounds in some of my favourite synths that I use every day. And I want to let you in on my formula and how I make music or what inspires me. So when I produce, I tend to find like a signature sound, whether it's like a sample kind of sound. So it could be like some chords that sound like, and they just loop around, just like something like that, and I'll just loop that, get the tempo going, find a bass that like goes with it. Pretty quick like that kind of thing. Or it could be, I start with like drums. I'll always like use splice, like hip hop breaks, and then I like cut them up and I just like resample it through the sampler in Serato. So you can kind of retain the sample sound of it, but without it just sounding like you've just taken it from splice. This is a new addition to my studio, the Udo Audio Super 6. It's beautiful. I haven't been able to fully explore it yet, but what I'm experiencing with it is really cool. I mostly use the Sub 37 and the Poly 61, and I also use the Prophet 6 a lot for like arpeggiated sounds and like those little like thinner, like high frequency kind of sounds. But yeah, I love like the presets on this. Oh, it's not plugged in, let me plug that in. I mean, the Poly 61's like a fairly reasonable like synth. It's like you can get it for like £600, 600 euros, like, but I love the sound of it. And it was the first knobless Korg synth that they made back in the 80s. It's like 1982. But what I quite like about it is that I use the analog sound, so I never really use any of the effects on it. I like to use like the RC20, Digitalis, all those different plugins and all the Sound Toys stuff like Echo Boy and Crystallizer, just so it gets that like digital sound, but you've actually got the analog warmth and richness to it. So it's quite cool. But yeah. If I run this through, Digitalis is like one of my new favorite finds, and it has like a really cool sound design and rhythmic section in it. Let me add more shit. I mean, I guess it's kind of like, I don't know what you would call it, but you can do multiple things on it and you can just like mess up the sound, and it just does loads of really cool stuff that makes everything sound really weird and cool. I just like things that are just easy and like help the workflow move really quickly. And that's what I love about synths is like, you know, you can grab a sound fairly quickly. There are times where I just sit with them and just vibe out when I'm not trying to create, and I'm just trying to just play them and enjoy them for what they are. The Sub 37, I mean, it's obviously a newish synth. It's not as good as all the original OG vintage ones, but I love it. I think it's great for hip hop, electronic music. It works, it's really cool. And the Prophet 6. Annoyingly, this is my new studio, so I don't have everything all set up yet, but I need to get my MIDI keyboard, because I've only got my Teenage Engineering synth that I just sometimes use as my MIDI keyboard. And the stuff you can do on this is insane. I love Teenage Engineering. These guys are a Swedish brand. I've went to their HQ where they make all their stuff, and there's so much care and thought behind everything they do. And I love how they design everything, how it feels so sleek. I haven't even uncovered the amount of things that this can do. It has its own recording system inside of it. You have like the whole drum library, a synth library. There's even a microphone that you can like record your own vocals with and sample stuff. It's a really incredible synthesizer, and I think it's also really cool because you can take it like everywhere with you, and it's super small, but it's super powerful. And what's also really cool is, you know, you can sample some of your synths that you have at home and then have them everywhere you go around the world, which is really good. This is also by Teenage Engineering. They did a collaboration with Virgil Abloh before he passed. So this is a really cool special product made with love and just looks really cool. This is the Arp Odyssey. I think I touched on, like, when I first got into production, I became like a bit synth mad. And I found out this is like one of the synths that Herbie Hancock used on some of his early stuff. This is not an OG one, this is the Korg remake. However, it's still just as cool. Well, maybe not as cool as the OG, but it's something that I love and I think it's cool to have. I also play the flute, which is a random fact, but yeah. I started playing the flute when I was about 11. And I've always had like a love for orchestral instruments. I grew up going to Guildhall School of Music and Drama, and I used to do like the summer camps, and we would do lots of composition classes, and it was really cool. So I've always had that love of that orchestral side and the mix and the blends that you can get from electronic stuff. Yeah, I don't really know what to play. Again, it's like whenever I come to something, I'll just play whatever just feels good, and I'll just sit there and I'll find something, and then I never remember what I've made, and then I have to go back and relearn what I've played. Although I was classically trained, I'm out of practice with it, so kind of play by ear now, but I could still read music, which is good. But I just try not to think about things because I think we all just think too much sometimes in life. So I used a Cranbourne audio interface. These are just 4 preamps. So I use these for like the synths or bass guitars or guitars, or also a microphone. And I just have one of the EQs from Marg Audio, the EQ4. It's cool, it gives me a nice sound for vocals, which I also use the TG mic by Chandler Audio. This one, great mic. Well, it's like an Abbey Road studio. It's like an EMI original kind of microphone. I got put onto it by a mix engineer friend of mine who basically was like, don't get a U87, everybody has them. And I kind of like to try and have things that not everybody has, and it has a really nice, crisp, warm sound to it for vocals that's not too harsh on the high end. Especially when I record my vocals, I have quite a lot of air that comes out the top end, so I don't want it to grab too much, so I like it for that. So this is a TR-08 based on the original 808. It's fun. I think it's more so just like something for enjoyment than what I use for my production sound and stuff, but maybe in the future I'll incorporate it more into my production. I just kind of have them around just for inspiration, or if I just want to make something different. You know, I don't like to put myself in a box too much.